Welcome to Motorhome Specialist. We're extremely excited to talk about a brand new product that's hit the RV market. This is the To West Bravado, a brand new Super C.
Super excited to show you what's all on this, guys. This is probably the best value in Super Cs in this market right now. Lots of features, lots of benefits. Very excited to show it to you.
Hi, my name is Elisha Bendele with Motorhome Specialist.
I'm Jordan Buckley with Motorhome Specialist.
And we want to get started by talking about just the way the East to West Bravado looks.
Absolutely.
Arguably, it's one of the best looking Super Cs on the market. And I think the reason why, just take a look at the paint behind us, take a look at the design. It doesn't look like your typical Super C. It doesn't have those RV swoops and swipes. It's a beautiful, beautiful paint job.
Absolutely.
That I could see really kind of going off-road with,
Absolutely.
going out into the wilderness with, and it just being at home in that kind of environment. If you watch the whole video through, we're going to drop a special Easter
Love
egg,
it.
a special price that only applies to you if you see the video. So if you're in the market for an East to West Bravado, if you're in the market for a Super C in general, you're going to want to watch this whole video because we're going to drop a price that we do not advertise on our site, and if you call into the dealership, you will not get unless you say, hey, I watched your YouTube video. So at some point through this video, we're going to drop that Easter egg hint of a special price, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned, guys. It's coming.
What do you want to talk about first, Jordan?
Oh, you know, I mean, with this coach, I mean, I think the first thing you got to talk about is really the chassis. You know, I mean, this is not your normal chassis. This is the super high output. So this is the new F600, okay? But this is the new F600 on the super high output. The old engine was a 300 horsepower with 750 torque. The new super high output is 950 torque on a 330 horsepower. So you're getting a lot more of that grab for the coach. We all know it's not necessarily horsepower, it's a torque, and this puppy has plenty.
So as we go around the coach and talk about things on the inside, talk about features, there's going to be a lot of things that we point out that may be small. Maybe you'd say, hey, you know, why are you talking about this? But I want to point them out because it's the little things with East to West that matter. The first thing, you just mentioned mirrors. So as I'm standing here looking down the side of the coach, this mirror that they put on the Ford chassis is far enough out where you see down the side of your coach. You may be like, hey, why are you even bringing that up? You're like,
Absolutely.
The reason why is because there are other brands in this price point or more expensive on this chassis where the mirrors do not go out far enough to see down the side of your coach.
Could be a problem, right?
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
We've had to replace the mirrors with mirrors that are extended because the manufacturer didn't care enough to give you a mirror that you could see down the side of your coach with. That's not East to West. That's not the way East to West is as a company.
No, absolutely
East to West is part of Forest River. Forest River is part of Berkshire Hathaway, owned by Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
They know what customers want. They want to give all the value to you right off the get-go and have the best experience possible for their consumers.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. And to get it to the price point that you're going to find out later, I don't know how they did it, but it really, truly, I mean, this came out unbelievable. Very excited to show you guys.
So before we move on to the side of the coach here, I want to point out this has a one-piece fiberglass seamless front cap. Secondly, that cap has a built-in windshield. What that allows for is a lot of light to enter into the coach. It makes it brighter inside. When you're up in the cab area, it doesn't feel like you're so claustrophobic in a tiny little dungeon. You know, when your kids are up there, they can actually see the night sky, see the view, see the beautiful national park that you're at. Then you also have side windows up in the cab area.
Yeah, cross ventilation.
That's a great feature.
I mean, no, I can tell you that is a separation. Nobody does that. Not the cross ventilation. You may find one in a couple of the competitors, but nobody's going to do the two to where you really true get that cross ventilation.
What about those frameless windows are important? So
They're very, very good call. So now this coach has frameless windows. The window itself is tinted, so you've got more sunblock, more UV block for your furniture and everything else.
Important.
But these guys, they actually do them square. They're the first ones that I saw come to market with these square. It really lends a much better aesthetic to the coach than those rounded ones. It just looks a lot neater across the coach. But what's really nice about these is when you want to open it, you want that cross ventilation, is when it's muggy, when it's raining, whenever it's something like that. True. It just comes straight out. If it's raining, no water inside. So no worries about that. Great feature to have, guys. Very important feature.
Most other brands at this price point are going to have an awning that has arms. Not with this coach.
No.
This has the Girard armless awning, same kind of awning they use on
Bravos. Yeah, I mean, this literally is the highest end awning that you could go to. Girard is the finest that they build. And Forest River decided that that's what they needed on this vehicle.
Let's look at the storage, Jordan.
Oh, great. One thing to mention, too, is see the square doors versus the cutouts. Again, just gives a much more linear look. Aesthetically, it's way more pleasing, but what I like about it is that they use these nice aluminum doors that are heavy. This is all Rotocast. Rotocast is 100% mildew, mold, and rust-free.
If you want to just kind of come
get
a look at this real quick, come over here, look at this Rotocast. You're not going to believe this. Look, I can fit inside the storage compartment.
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous.
Well,
there's also storage right up here.
Absolutely.
There's so much storage in this Bravado, it's ridiculous.
You even get pass-through on some of your bays. So if you got, a table, chairs, whatever it is, you can still get it in the coach. And you don't have to worry. Again, guys, if it gets muddy, if it gets whatever, it does not matter. You just literally take a water hose to it, drain and weep holes are there, back to normal.
That's awesome. Let's move on down the side of the coach. This comes standard with an exterior TV. Great entertainment center here. You mentioned something earlier about this TV.
Well, what's really nice that they did, and this is for all the TVs on the coach, they're all 12 volt. So that means you do not have to run your generator whenever you're watching your TVs.
Jordan, for someone who may not be a current camper or has camped before, what would be the reason why a 12 volt TV is important? Why would you potentially not want to run your generator?
We do have a quiet diesel generator, so it is much more muffled than what you normally have. But again, it just keeps you from waking up your neighbors or, just even using that fuel. I mean, there is a fuel consumption behind it. So it's a zero fuel sum. So
there are also a lot of sites in like some national parks.
Oh, yeah.
You just can't even run the generator. They have either generator quiet hours or you can't run a generator. And then those kind of exclusive, nicer spots in some of the national parks also don't have hookups, right? So you're going to be dependent on your batteries and your solar. Talking about that, by the way, this has solar panels standard at this price.
Well, it's not just solar, okay? You've got 200 watt solar panels up there, okay? That is a ton of solar. That's gonna be a very nice thing to have on board. And again, it's standard. It is not something that you have to add, it's already there.
Talking about the batteries though.
The batteries, yeah.
We're missing something super important.
Yeah,
we have solar, yeah, we have a second alternator, but all that is just an added benefit if you have really good batteries, and this coach has really good batteries. This has, at the super low price, lithium. I challenge you to go find another Super C at this price point with lithium batteries.
And it's not just lithium, guys. It's 2 lithium batteries. They spent the money you've got a 2,000 watt inverter in here, okay? But it's not just your regular inverter. It's a pure sine wave.
As you can tell, Jordan likes to get into the nuts and bolts, the technical details of it. That's good. So I'm going to show you a little bit more storage right here. Again, that Rotocast storage, tons of storage. You definitely can't have too much storage when you're RVing.
No,
right?
Absolutely not.
Let's look at the back of the coach.
All right, guys, now let's get to the towing part of this. A lot of you guys are buying Super Cs because you want to be able to take your vehicles with you. Well, this coach has a 14,500 pound tow rating. Guys, that's unheard of for a Super C of this size. Again, to remind you, this is a 33DS, so this is a 34-foot coach, and it literally can tow 14,500 pounds behind it.
That's a great point. A couple other things before we move on to the other side that I want to point out. This has obviously a tankless hot water heater. I guess I shouldn't say obviously because our other brands.
No,
still
really,
doing a
most of them
regular
have
tank,
6.
right?
A few
Maybe
have
10
10,
gallon.
but
Tankless hot water heater gives you the ability to have basically endless hot water, endless showers. You don't have to take those military showers.
and it's instant.
It's instantaneous.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Instant
A couple
hot.
other things. Again, all standard. Everything we mentioned here is standard with the East to West Bravado. Comes with a rear ladder. Great feature. Comes with backup camera. You have 2 cameras up there. One of them is for, I think, at night. So you
You've
can
got
see at night
infrared.
when you're backing up. Then you also have cameras on the side. So every time you turn your blinker on, you have side view cameras to see if there's a car in the lane before you go into that lane. All right, as we move on to the driver's side, couple things we want to point out here. So right here, you've got a propane quick connect. So you can have a grill out here. You can have a nice little outside kitchen setup. Great little docking light here for your spray port, your power plug, and then your cable satellite input there. So other brands this price point in the wet bay, they're going to have maybe plywood flooring.
That's right.
You don't want plywood flooring when you're dealing with the ickiness of this area.
Or stainless
right?
steel even,
Or
or
stainless
aluminum.
steel is going to rust. Yeah,
That's
so
right.
Rotocast is great. You can just wash it out. And then just the way they run all this together very easily. You got a hole there so you can put your hose up through here. And then I love the way that East to West has just all these connections in a nice, easy to use placement. They're not in like 5 different locations. They're just right here.
And you
So
don't have
super
to
easy.
bend. There's
Exactly.
no bending. You're just right here.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Jordan, you want to open up that storage compartments? What's underneath there?
So again, Forest River has decided to really get aggressive here as well. Normally in this size of a coach, you're going to see a 6K, okay, instead of the 8K that they put in. Now notice this is an Onan, which is literally top of the line. It is the easiest serviced, the most locations to get serviced generator that is out there. But this is the QD, the quiet diesel.
Before we move on to the inside, talk about the chassis, talk about the interior. You want to hit those slide toppers real quick, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, we got slide toppers on both slides. Again, this is the 33DS, and it is a dual slide unit that has slide toppers on both.
So you mentioned standard features. Slide toppers are standard.
Standard.
At this price. You want to maybe tell everybody the little Easter egg we were talking about earlier, release that special information.
All right, guys. So
Should we tell everybody?
I think it's time.
Let's do it.
Let's get it going.
What are we selling this for? If you watch this video, if you call Jordan, if you call Motorhome Specialist, what are you willing to sell this coach to them for, Jordan?
So we're going to discount this coach to $179,999. That's from $186,499 right now online. So watch the video, give us a call. Again, Jordan Buckley, 817-886-0138. Give me a call, guys.
Jordan's been here a long time, one of the best professionals you could work with on the sales side. If you want to know anything more about the Bravado, call Jordan at that number or call the number below, ask for Jordan. Jordan's going to be able to tell you a lot about the coach, give you a great experience. Just talking about the experience here, just want to mention to everybody, again, this is Motorhome Specialist. We're out here in Verrado, Texas, just south of Dallas. We're the #1 motorhome dealership in the world for volume, 12 years in a row.
12 years in a row.
That's impressive.
It's very, very hard.
We know what
to
we're
do.
doing. We have a great delivery experience, but one of the best things is your money buys more at Motorhome Specialist. Let's look at the interior.
Absolutely. How we doing again, guys? All right, now the inside. We finally get to see the inside of the 25 Bravado. That again is the East to West Bravado 33DS.
Looks first. Let's just. There's a lot of features to talk about here. Let's talk about just the way it looks. So
Absolutely.
you talked about that briefly. The East to West. East to West is run by Lisa Legal. Lisa Legal was late Pete's Legal's daughter, Pete Legal's daughter, who ran all of Forest River. Reported to Warren Buffett. She has a fantastic design team, and she has ultimate input into designs of the East to West product, which is why they look good. Before we move on to the rest of the coach, just want to point out, obviously we mentioned outside, you've got that window in the front, you have the side windows, but also just this bunk area. It's really, really tall. It's really big. So if you have kids up here, as they sit up, they're not going to hit their head. a lot of the bunk areas are very, very thin, and that tends to feel really claustrophobic the longer you stay up there. So,
Yeah.
nice
If you ever
bunk
sleep in
area,
one, you'll know.
right?
Yeah.
Comes with a ladder right there. Which hooks
Telescoping.
onto here. Yep. Nice and slim. This flips right over for easy access to the cab area. And then right up here, you also have a TV on a swivel. You can swivel right out so you can see it from your theater seating, see it from your dinette.
They also have, if you notice here, you've got your power controls, okay, that, let's get that
pretty
up.
comfy there,
Let's
Jordan.
get comfy. You've also got USBs to be able to charge, and there are USBs throughout this coach. This is made for kids. It is made for pets. It is made to go out and play. It's a Super C, so they don't want you worrying about your furniture. They gave you top quality to start with.
That's a great point. You mentioned a little bit of storage there for the remotes in the middle. We talked a lot about storage on the exterior, but let's talk about some storage in here. East to west, kind of gives you a lot of little nooks and crannies to store things because they use all the space very well. So you've got, 3 areas for storage right here. You've got storage right above the door. Usually you'd have a lot of remotes or controls and stuff there. Instead, they put all those battery disconnects, leveling system, 4-point hydraulic leveling on this, all right down there. So that's just storage. And then you have a bunch of storage room up here for your pantry items. This is not the only area for your pantry stuff. We'll get back to that in a second. Storage underneath the sink, massive sink area. And
Farm sink.
Yeah, farm style sink. Just talking about the sink, it's huge. You have solid surface countertops here.
Love that.
Basically, there's a lot of things in here that you wouldn't find on a coach at this price point. And you'd think that if they were going to give you that upgraded generator, you'd think that if they're going to give you that blackout package, those slide toppers, that solar panel, those lithium batteries, the theater seating with the special fabric, the day and night shades, they'd have to make it cheaper somewhere else, right?
Absolutely.
They didn't. They still give you solid surface countertops, this nice stainless steel sink, the 2-top induction cooktop, the convection microwave. All of this is extremely high-end.
Absolutely.
They didn't cheapen it out anywhere.
No.
I don't know how they hit this price point. Part of this, too, is this is the first Super C that East to West has come out with, right? So if you're going to come out with a product, you want to make a splash in the industry. You want to get a lot of people interested in your product, and you want to give great value so you get some, you make some deals with customers, right?
Absolutely.
So that's what East to West has done. This has fantastic features at this price point that are all standard. Probably one of the best times to buy this type of Super C is right now if you get an East to West Bravado. You just won't find anything else at this price point with these features for a long time.
And guys, we're not even anywhere near done. So, I mean, there is a lot to talk about still that, again, is only going to be offered by Forest River. Another nice thing about this coach is the flooring. I love the color of it. It's a nice mild color that literally dirt's not going to show. It's and it keeps the coach to where it's going to look bigger as well because of the nice light color. It does have the dinette. So when this converts into a sleeper, you've got another 8 inches to be able to sleep those kiddos or even a small adult.
And you have seat belts in the seating positions. So a lot of brands, you have to do a pull test on these seat belts to make sure that it can pull, past, I think it's a 1,000-pound pull test.
That's
You
right.
have to certify that. It's more money, costs more to do that. They actually give you seat belts in the seating positions.
That's right.
That's
I mean,
great.
again, not very many people do that. And guys, for those of you that are going to be traveling with pets, that's a great place for your kennel. You can have a large kennel inside of that area right there and not have to worry about them bumping around. Great space for them.
Tell us about the fridge, Jordan.
Oh, this
Fridge
is
is
okay.
incredible.
So you can see already. I don't have to say a whole lot just because how big it is. But this is a 17 cubic foot, 12 volt refrigerator. So again, this runs right off the batteries. So you have a lot of space here. I'm sure you got that, but there's just a lot of space for you and your family to put whatever needs that you need for your refrigeration. You got a big freezer with the flex zone to where the things that you're going to be eating, maybe that night's kind of almost a defroster type area, but just a lot of room to be able to take whatever you need wherever you need to go.
There's also an ice maker in there.
There is.
Kind of hard to see, but it's right down here. You got an ice maker. That's fantastic.
Got to have your ice for your drinks, right? Have no choice.
We mentioned the pantry briefly.
Oh,
this pantry is
love
awesome.
this, guys.
So
Love
this
this.
locks when in motion. When it's locked, you have this for your garbage, right? You can have two garbage cans
two
right here.
trash cans.
When you put that in, unlock this, you pull this out, and here's your pantry.
All right, guys, well, let's show you where you're going to be sleeping. So this is a true queen size bed. It is 60 by 80, so you can buy your real queen bed sheets on it. And what's really nice is if you notice, it is walk around. So you can see, or you can walk all the way around the bed and make it very easily. That is a big problem for a lot of my clients, and it is a full walk around bed. As you know, as Elijah was talking about with it, they really just did a bang up job on storage. Take a look, guys. I mean, this is kind of really incredible. Look at the size of these storage closets. I mean, they're massive. You can either use that as his and hers, or you could use that inside here as plumbing, and you could do a washer dryer combination. Will fit right in there. Lots of drawers. Look how deep these are, and you've got 6 of these drawers here back in the rear. Okay, then you also have all of your floor plans are going to have 110s and USBs on both sides of the bed. So you'll be able to, plug in your phone, plug in your iPad, whatever devices you have. It is very, very easy to be able to get them plugged in. Then what's nice too is they give you little nightstands. So if you want your drink, you want your glasses, whatever you may have, you've got a space to put those. They've even got a little cubby to where it's a little hidden cubby for things don't slide around. Another nice thing about the bedroom is this bank of cabinets right above the bed. These are deep, and they could store quite a bit of stuff. So just again, they didn't waste any space anywhere. As far as storage is going, they wanted to give you the maximum amount of space. The last thing that I really want to talk about in the bedroom is this television. They normally will put a 19, maybe a 27 inch into a bedroom. This is a 40 inch, okay? And again, just like all the other TVs, it's going to be a 12 volt TV that runs directly off the batteries. No, don't need the gen. And it's also a smart TV. So if you want to play your Netflix, your Prime, whatever it is, you could do so on all TVs on the Forest River.
Okay, I love talking about this part of the RV. Sometimes more than others because sometimes bathrooms are actually set up really well. In this East West Bravado, it's set up fantastic. Number one, you have a ton of counter space. The counter space is also solid surface counters. So it's not that pressed formica with the stripping here where when you get the water in it, it's going to bubble up and have to be replaced. No, this is the same solid surface countertops that goes from your kitchen to the dinette table to right here. Secondly, you have tons of space here for storage. It's unbelievable how much space you have here, so you can actually bring your stuff, put it in here instead of having it in your little toiletry bag sitting on the counter. You got more storage down here. Just a great use of space. Coming back up further into the bathroom, you have a porcelain toilet. Definitely you want to sit on a porcelain throne instead of a plastic one. The porcelain doesn't hold smells like the plastic one does. Then the shower. The shower is incredible. It's tall. It's spacious. How big is the shower, Jordan?
It's 36 by 36.
36
and
by
it has
36.
the arc bar on it.
And it has the arc bar.
Yeah.
So you could probably have 2 people in here, right, Jordan?
Easily.
In this size shower.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big boy, and I can get in there and move around just fine.
Maybe not. Maybe let's not do that. But massive, massive shower. You also have this great shower curtain right here. Arc bar, like you mentioned, is fantastic. Yeah, you've got the shower head here. You've got the handhold sprayer. You've got this jet right here. You've got the jet down here. You have the 2 knobs to control it here. One's going to be switching it between the different things. One's going to be your water temperature. So absolutely incredible shower, but it's massive. 36 by 36. Definitely you could fit 2 people in here if you want to.
One more thing before we go that I think is important to mention is the fact that this is a dual AC unit, okay? But what's really nice that they do that really I can't think of a single manufacturer again that does this is they do a 15,000 Coleman Mach. Coleman Mach is probably the most sought after AC that you could go after. The least warranty claims year after year. But what's really nice about this one is it has a soft start and it also has a heat pump. So you've got another way of heat. You do have the 30,000 BTU, which is ridiculous. Nobody needs a 30,000 BTU in a unit this big, but they give it to you. But you also have the heat pump as well. You have a 13.5, but what's nice about that is it is located in the bedroom. So it's, again, the two ACs, Coleman Mach, with the soft start and the heat pump on the front and the 13.5 in your bedroom.
You know, before we wrap up the video, there's one thing I want to talk about, and it's just a little bit about us, MHS. So we're the #1 volume dealership in the world, 12 years in a row. Nobody sells more motorhomes out of a single location than Motorhome Specialist. We have anywhere between 450 to 700 brand new units on the lot at any given time. So we are essentially the Disneyland of RVs. If you want to find a place where you can come shop pretty much every single brand out there in one single location in a nice laid-back environment, Motorhome Specialist is the place to go. Your money buys more at MHS. We have the best pricing in the country. Again, if you heard that earlier, we're pricing this one at $179. If you've watched this video, $179,995. You just call the number below to contact MHS. Jordan, maybe do you want to tell everybody just a little bit about the kind of experience you can get when you pick it up MHS, which is different than most dealers?
So the real difference is, you know, it's #1 our facility. Okay, we're over 80 acres, and I mean we've got it all. You know, we've got, you know, I think it's 88 delivery pads. You know, we've got 24 service bays, and just a huge environment to be able to come comfortably look at motorhomes. But even beyond that, it's really the delivery process. Once we have found that right motorhome for you and your family, once we figured out, you know, all the things that go in it, then it's time for you guys to come. Well, you would then meet with the salesman, and they're going to take you back to your coach, okay, on one of our delivery pads. Our delivery pads they're awning covered, 50 amps, full service, and guys, we are 100% pet friendly. Your pet can come with you anywhere. I promise you, we sell more pets, more motorhomes for pets than we do for people. So please bring them. But the thing is that we're going to then introduce you to your service tech. That technician is going to take you through and show you everything. Trust me, way more even involved than what we've just done. You're going to learn every system on this coach inside and out. You're going to know how everything on that motorhome works. And the second part of that is once we're done with the walk, once we take you to our store, show you our stuff, we do the closing, we're inviting you to spend the night in your motorhome with us. Well, why do we do that? It's really twofold. #1, you don't know what you don't know. You've never spent the night in the coach, so how in the world would you possibly know what questions you have? We want to make sure that all those questions are answered and that they're answered to your satisfaction. So that second day, we're coming back out to answer all those questions, handle any punch items. We're not sending you away. We're handling it right there. So again, especially, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're new or old or however many times you bought a motorhome. There's new stuff that comes out on them all the time. I mean, every year, I guarantee you, if you walked into a Best Buy today, it looks very different than it did 5 years ago. So keep up to date on what is new on your motorhome. We'll teach it to you. You'll have a much better experience on the road with that knowledge under your belt.
That's incredibly said, Jordan. Again, no prep fee. We don't charge a prep fee. You have a service technician doing your delivery, not someone who has no idea about the coach. You have a professional service technician doing it, and then you can camp on site, loaner cars. That is fantastic. At the #1 motorhome dealership in the world, we really want to earn your business, and I promise you we will bend over backwards to help you. We'd love to talk to you. Call the number below or go to MHSRV.com to see all of our inventory. Thank you.